Alright YouTube, so it's been a few days since we've done a Fallout 76 video. We haven't really had any news to talk about, no real leaks to cover, anything like that, so I kind of wanted to talk about the things about this game that have me excited. Now this is a video about the things that we actually do know about Fallout 76, not the potential things like multiplayer. We don't know that that is 100% yet, we won't know until the reveal on June 10th. This is about like the location, the setting, the vault, the year, things like that. Anyways, let's get into this shit. So first and foremost, what has me excited about Fallout 76 is the fact that it takes place in Vault 76, or at least, the beginning of the game probably takes place in Vault 76. And this is interesting for a few reasons, but namely because it is a control vault. Now, essentially what this means is a control vault, if you don't know, is pretty much just a regular vault. It's just people living there. There's no crazy vault tech experiments going on. Vault 13, for example, from Fallout 1 was like prolonged isolation. Same thing with Fallout 3 with Vault 101. Vault 111 from Fallout 4 was the cryogenic stuff that you see at the beginning of the game. Those are some of the nicer examples of some of the experiments that take place in vaults, but still those are experimental vaults, whereas Vault 76 isn't. It's just a regular vault. This is interesting because we have not had this in the Fallout series yet. I don't know about like Tactics and Brotherhood of Steel. I don't know shit about those games. Those aren't really even canon if I'm not mistaken anyway, so it doesn't matter what happens. With the mainline games 1, 2, 3, New Vegas, and 4, we have yet to ever experience a control vault. It's kind of interesting. At least in the main story, anyway. I'm interested to see how this would influence the story, coming out of a regular vault, where nothing's supposed to be crazy, nothing wrong is supposed to happen, but that doesn't mean that something wrong can't happen. And that little bit of a teaser we got, it looks like everything's fine. Reclamation Day happens 20 years after the vault door closes, you go out, you're supposed to reclaim the world, rebuild the world, but something's got to drive the story. What is the story of this game? It can't just be that, there's got to be something. If we're taking the teaser trailer at face value, the game seems to take place, 5 years after Reclamation Day, but then why is the Reclamation Day stuff still up after 5 years? Why does our character look to be alone in this vault when there should be like 499 other people? With Fallout 3, you leave the vault because you're chasing after your father who is trying to purify the water for the wasteland. Fallout 4, you wake up, 210 years after the Great War, so you're essentially this alien in this crazy-ass world, and you're trying to figure out what happened to your son, who kidnapped your son. So I'm kind of interested in what the driving force behind the story of Fallout 76 is going to be. Speaking of the time this game takes place, if we're going off of the teaser trailer and what little we know about Vault 76, this would be the earliest Fallout game in the entire lineup so far. Fallout 1 took place in 2161, Fallout 2 took place in 2241, Fallout 3 took place in 2277, Fallout New Vegas took place in 2281, and Fallout 4 took place in 2287. But from everything that we've seen from this teaser and what little we know about Fallout 76 and Vault 76, this game seems to be taking place in 2102. Which puts it only a mere 25 years after the Great War. That's pretty interesting. If we're going off of when the door's supposed to actually open, it should have opened in 2097, which is only 20 years after the Great War. So this gives us a pretty interesting setting for like a world. The earliest game besides this one would be Fallout 1, which took place in 2161, but that's still 59 years after when this game's supposed to take place. So I'm just kind of intrigued about what the early setting's supposed to mean. What's the point of this? I've heard other YouTubers talk about it because of this early setting that maybe we're not going to have like Brotherhood of Steel, and maybe certain enemies would exist like super mutants. But I mentioned that in my one of my previous videos, and people like bit my head off about it. Oh, the Brotherhood, there was this faction, this branch of the Brotherhood, it could exist, and super mutants. Oh, the FEV virus was being tested then. So I don't know exactly what is like canon, what is lore. But because of the early setting of this game, then there shouldn't be certain things. I don't know exactly what, because I'm not going to make a bold claim because then somebody's going to disagree with me in the comments, but certain things shouldn't exist yet. But what I do know is my boys the Enclave can exist right now. In this earlier kind of setting from what I've read, they're probably not trying to actually take over and regrow the US, but they could exist because of the early setting. Now speaking more on this earlier setting should give us a pretty interesting world. It all depends on how close the setting of this game is to where an actual like nuke went off or where some bombs dropped or whatever. Now, because of this earlier setting, there should be less man-made settlements in the game, depending on how much this location actually got blown up, that is. Because of this early setting, being only 20 to 25 years after the Great War, there should be a lot less civilized locations. I feel like raiders would still be pretty rampant. I mean, you're living in a world where there is no longer, like, law enforcement, and this is the early days of this shit, so it'd be pretty crazy, man. People would be a lot different if in the real world we didn't have police officers. You didn't have to go to jail and shit. And just kind of a side note in general, I feel like with the Fallout series, there should be a lot less civilized locations anyway, because I just don't think people would give a fuck. So we've talked about the year this takes place and the actual vault. Now let's talk a little more on the location of this game. We don't know for sure that this is actually taking place in West Virginia. In the end, it is just a song during the teaser trailer. I would say that it's like 90-something% certain that we are going to be in West Virginia, but we don't know for sure. Now, West Virginia does make sense because of the song during the teaser trailer, and so far Bethesda has stuck with the East Coast with their Fallout games, with Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, so West Virginia just kind of adds up. And if this does take place in West Virginia, that puts us pretty damn close to the Capital Wasteland. Of course, that's in Washington, D.C., and West Virginia is very, very close to Washington, D.C. I don't know if that would actually matter, but maybe story-wise it could. We could see some of the things that maybe led to the events of Fallout 3 or something, who knows. Now, West Virginia would be a pretty interesting setting for a Fallout game because the state is almost entirely mountainous, which we've never really had with the Fallout games. We've had some kind of rocky terrain before with 3 New Vegas, but not like actual mountains. Like, this state is entirely within the Appalachian region, so I don't know how that would affect really a Fallout game, but it could be kind of cool. And most of West Virginia is covered in trees. Now, I don't know if they would keep all the trees because of the apocalyptic setting, but that could be kind of interesting if we have a little more vegetation. And really, that's pretty much everything we know about this game so far. We know the vault, we know the year, and we know pretty much what the location is going to be, but with what little information we have, we actually have quite a bit. And with the things that we've discussed in this video, I'm pretty hyped for this game, regardless of whatever it's going to be. Regardless of leaks and rumors and things like that, we're not even going to talk about that shit in this video. I'm hyped for this game, whatever it is. And regardless of what this game is, I'm excited for more Fallout. We had, Fallout New Vegas 18 months after Fallout 3, and now we have another Fallout game so soon after Fallout 4, so I'm just hyped for more Fallout in general. I'm willing to give Bethesda the benefit of the doubt if they are trying to experiment with the series with Fallout 76, and that's all I'll say about it in this video. We all just gotta wait till June 10th, which is only a mere 5 days away, man. I cannot wait. So you know how it goes, my dudes. Let me know your thoughts below. What has you hyped about Fallout 76? Or I guess not hyped. What pisses you off the most about Fallout 76, I guess? I don't know. And hopefully you guys went on to enjoy the video. And if you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Turn on notifications. Follow me on Twitter at @TheDashingDavid. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.
Give me forever for a while, give me forever for a while, quit acting like